Lila Daniels had always been drawn to vintage jewelry. There was something enchanting about the way each piece seemed to carry whispers of a forgotten past. So, when she stumbled upon a tucked-away antique store in a quiet New Orleans alley, she couldn't resist stepping inside. The sign above the door read, "Remnants of the Past." The shop was dimly lit, its air heavy with the scent of aged wood and something metallic. Glass cases lined the walls, displaying relics of bygone eras, but it was the necklace that caught Lila's eye. Resting on a swatch of black velvet was an emerald pendant, its green gem so vivid it seemed to glow. "Beautiful, isn't it?" a voice rasped. Lila turned to see the shopkeeper, an old man with watery gray eyes and a hunched posture. "That's the emerald veil, a piece of history and tragedy." Lila smiled, though unease prickled at her skin. "What's its story?" The old man leaned closer, his breath carrying the faint tang of herbs and decay. "The necklace belonged to a woman named Celeste Duval in the 1800s. She was a socialite envied for her beauty. But the night she wore it to a grand masquerade ball, tragedy struck. She was found dead in her carriage, her throat marked with bruises as if strangled by unseen hands. Some say it was her jealous lover, others say the necklace did it." Lila laughed nervously. "That's just a story." The shopkeeper's gaze sharpened. "Perhaps, but every owner since has met a similar fate. It's cursed, you see. Celeste's spirit, restless, vengeful, clings to it. I keep it here to ensure no one else becomes its victim." But the warning only heightened Lila's curiosity. She couldn't leave without it. Ignoring the pit in her stomach, she handed over the money. The shopkeeper hesitated, his bony fingers reluctant to release the necklace. "Keep it locked away," he muttered. "Never wear it." Lila dismissed his words as superstition. Back home, she placed the emerald veil in her jewelry box, marveling at its craftsmanship. That night, she dreamed of a woman in an emerald dress, her face pale, her eyes hollow. She stood at the foot of Lila's bed, whispering words that sounded like a plea. The next morning, Lila found the necklace on her dresser, though she was certain she hadn't taken it out. A shiver ran down her spine, but she brushed it off. It was a coincidence, nothing more. Days turned into weeks, and the strange occurrences multiplied. Mirrors cracked when Lila passed. Lights flickered whenever she touched the necklace. Shadows moved in her peripheral vision, and she often felt the weight of unseen eyes watching her. One evening, unable to resist its allure, Lila decided to wear the necklace to an art gallery event. As she fastened the chain around her neck, a chill swept through the room, and her reflection in the mirror changed. For a fleeting moment, her face wasn't her own. It was Celeste's, a ghostly visage of sorrow and rage. At the gallery, Lila became the center of attention. The necklace drew admiration, its emerald gleaming under the chandeliers. But as the night progressed, she felt an oppressive presence, as if someone was standing too close, whispering in her ear. "Do you feel it?" a voice said, startling her. She turned to see a man, his face pale and drawn. "The necklace. It carries death. You need to take it off." Lila's chest tightened. "Who are you?" "My name doesn't matter. I'm a historian. That necklace belonged to Celeste Duval. Everyone who's worn it has—" He trailed off, his gaze darting to the necklace. "You need to destroy it." Before Lila could respond, a suffocating pressure gripped her throat. She clawed at her neck, gasping for air. The crowd turned, horrified, as she fell to her knees. The historian tried to pull the necklace off, but it wouldn't budge, the clasp seemingly fused shut. Suddenly, the emerald shattered, sending shards across the room. The pressure on Lila's throat vanished, and she collapsed, trembling. When she looked up, she saw her reflection in a nearby mirror. Celeste stood behind her, a faint smile on her lips. But as their eyes met, the specter whispered one final word. "Free." The apparition dissolved, leaving only silence. Lila never wore jewelry again. The remnants of the emerald veil were buried deep in the bayou, far from human reach. But on quiet nights, she could